Smacking, cracking, and watching. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe. I'm Dying Up Here, season 1. This is the season 1 review. I'm going to try to do episode 1 through 8. And then tomorrow, the finale comes on. I wish I would have known about this show earlier. I just caught on to the goodness. I'm Dying Up Here is this hilarious show set around this club called Goldie's, which is the go-to spot. We're seeing the struggle that comics go through just to make it on stage. Stress that all these comedians go through. The goal is to go on Johnny Carson's show and get a place on the couch. You see this character in the beginning, his name's Clay. He actually made it. He was the chosen one. In the hotel room service, watching himself on TV, which has to be a crazy thing. He seems depressed, he's alone. No one's in there with him. He's in the limelight finally. His time has come and he's solo dolo. He is alone, man. It's almost like he's in a depressed funk cloud. Walking in traffic and he gets by a dang on bus and a prostitute comes and takes his wallet. It's showing you can be there and be alone. You can be there in front of millions of people can see you, yet you're alone. And he took his life. So we also meet some dang on good characters, y'all. We meet Adam, Goldie, Cassie, Sully, Ralph. Ralph has got to be one of the dopest characters in this show. Club is called Goldie, so of course the character is Goldie. I know it's loosely based off of Pauly Shore's mother, but they don't like to mention her name, probably for legal reasons. Ran the game, I think, until she passed away from, I'm not sure. Y'all can look her bio up. Understand that everybody that's funny that we know of came through her doors. She put everyone on, and that's basically where Goldie is. She puts everybody on. Also, they said Goldie doesn't get apples, she gives the apples. Calls the comedians her kids. Says, I don't know my own kids. I don't know if she has sexual encounters with these dudes, but she kind of played them to do things like paint when they're the up and coming, the young one. And then they kind of get that moment and she kind of shushes them away. Stable boys. She smokes cigarettes, she plays cards, she's handling her business out there. And it's a male-dominated world. That glass ceiling is real. She got her glasses on her chain. You got a gold cigarette case. I said she stay counting her money. She's not giving that money out, but she's counting her money. Now Adam's the young one. Adam is the one of two African-American comedians on the show. But he's funny. He's doing what he's got to do to get to that main. When you first meet Adam, he wants to make more money. He's at this church and Dan Aykroyd's on there. They got him knocking one out, just to make $200 in front of this retired preacher, which was weird. Voice, I ain't gonna lie, his voice reminds me of like Kenan and Kel, the non-muscular one. He's an awesome character. He'll eat liverwurst to make it. And he'll knock one out for $1, and he can handle the hecklers. What else do you need? And he looks up to Pryor, and then when he finally meets Pryor, the game kind of changes. Talk with his manager, and the manager just changes his outlook on everything. Ron and Eddie, we got Ron and Eddie. Ron and Eddie are dope because they living in a dang on closet, y'all. Hilarious. That is the tightest sleeping quarters I wouldn't want to put on anyone. The struggle is real. Who are these characters based off of? Because someone's struggle is definitely in that script. When that lady tried to steal his laundry and he took off after her and they didn't even have enough money to freaking dry their clothes. Bananas. Going to the grocery store to steal food. They got caught an adult baby and the whole Rice-A-Roni story. I'll talk about that in a second. All the way to their come up. These are some of the highlights that I really liked from the show. Goldie doesn't pay students. She doesn't pay her comics. There's one rule in business, but no one's figured it out yet. Unrule written number 7. Do not insult the comic that you're warming up for. When the crowd's not listening, make them listen. On Monday, a joke could work. Tuesday, the joke could bomb. Thursday, the joke could be like the best thing in the world. You can't double dip on clubs. You either go at Goldie's or you're nowhere. If you go to another club, good luck trying to get back in with her. When Cassie went in at Bill at the deli club, that makeshift comedy set, that was the ultimate burn. It was lethal what she did to him. It was her truth and she said it. You know what? Speaking of Bill, I'm kind of worried that Bill's going to end it. I feel like he might be on the verge of some suicidal stuff just because of everything he's went through with his family. Had that gig, and then you royally screwed yourself. Selly stealing the onion rings was epic. Showing the struggle with his electricity being cut off, vulnerable. To see him cutting his hair and cleaning himself up to take that risk, making that extra $60 a week for your family. And then later on, we saw him withholding his baby and his girl in the living room, watching the comic do well on TV. But his lights are on. They're happy. The last time we saw him at home, it wasn't quite like that. Everybody's going through something. The people, us as fans, you know, we want to be entertained, but we're not realizing that the comedians went through some crap to get to that point. At the same time, when those chicks were in the audience and they all got laid off and they went to a comedy club, I mean, in their head, it's like, we're depressed. Let's go somewhere that's going to uplift us and make us feel better. But to him, you know, it's like, hey, let me do my gig. It sucks, but it happens. Let's make a deal. That man ate the egg. All he had to do was bring the egg. I was so mad. I was yelling at the TV at this point. I'm like, you ate the egg. How are y'all going to pay the $50 rent? What are you doing? And then they won the $200 and I was happy. But then when they went too far with the pool table, I said, y'all gonna lose it all, this donkey. And then it was Rice-A-Roni for the year. And I felt them with their happiness. It was funny because my husband walked in at that point. He's like, they won rice. Why are they so happy? I'm like, because they were hungry. That's all they needed to survive, man. It's survival. The big lapels on this show, the throwback dress shirts, not a lot of t-shirts. You know, everything was collars back then. To heck, the racist heckler that got bodied by Ralph, in the bathroom, and he broke that dang holder off. And I said, this dude's got a violent background. Why test people? You never know someone's situation, what they've seen in the past. Don't test these people, man. Timing is everything. Picasso's obituary was bananas, man, but super informative. Breaking down the jokes, man. I mean, you realize it, but you don't realize it. How it's categorized, basically. The monotone comic. You got the comic that uses a ventriloquist. You have the comic the southern one, the East Coast person, the one that's all about ethnicity. And then you got the crowd worker. So it just makes you see things a little bit different. I used to listen to that podcast called, The Champs, not Drink Champs, but The Champs. If you guys watched it, drop a comment below. A lot of the comedians that will come on there and I will listen to their story, I was like, wow, this is really sad. It is really sad to hear their upbringing, man. Like, they have to be the funniest people on the planet, they have some of the worst upbringing, family backgrounds in the world, man. Edgar and Sully literally beefing was off the chain because Dinty Moore all over. That was just nasty. They were literally beefing, man. Edgar versus Adam, the milkshake two straw situation, that was dope. See the ventriloquist with his racist self. And when they I thought the boys, the three guys who united on stage, that was super awesome. Their routine, they're so skilled and masters at what they were doing that it flowed so well. And I hope later on in the season we get to see them maybe figure out something with the three of, you know, Ron, Eddie, and Adam. The comedian said, I don't want to die in Joliet or be on a riverboat. And that hit me like, wow. He said, it's here or I'm glue. She was powerful, man. Goldie said, I'm trying to let you walk out of here with your fur and your heels. Get out, you know, I'm trying to do this before you embarrass yourself. And when old boy's dad was outside and she drove past him and he's like Toyota with he's such a nut. Like his dad was a nut. But her character, and then when she had the moment with Cassie outside, that was awesome. Ralph is the only one on this show that's living good besides Goldie. Everybody else is kind of slumming it out. Dom Herrera was on stage, and that was freaking awesome to see him throwing down. Peeing on your dead dog's grave is a bit much, wouldn't you say? Mr. Beverly on the Tonight Show shooting up that drug in his system, and he still went out there high as a kite and he slayed. He didn't get the couch. His girl was more focused on what would come with him being on TV than to understand what he was going through and what he wanted at the moment. Two completely different things. Man, the drugs, the acid, that chick on the bed, y'all remember? Do you guys remember that chick on the bed who was high as a kite on acid, and Cassie thought she was going to save her by untying her hands? Said, I'm a slut for the greater good, and that they're vampires and and basically said that her and Cassie were one and the same. Whoa. The chuckle. That's crazy because I've heard of lot lizards, I've heard of badge bunnies, but a chuckle the baby way. Look, checking temperatures, that's just nasty, that's just trifling. The TV beef between Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King that was always playing in the background, always on the TV sets that you could see in the dish area, the food area of the clubs. And she won, and it was just showing that battle, the dynamic between how they feel a woman can't do what a man can do. And we see the struggle of Goldie in a male-dominated field as the person who's running the club, and she handles it so brolic, and Cassie trying to jump in there with the guys. And with that being said, Goldie had the best line. She said, just because they fart in front of you doesn't make you one of the guys. That just means they don't want to. Wow. And then on top of that, Bill kind of sealed the deal for her, because when they were supposed to be having a date in a moment, he farted. And I was just like, dang. Richard Pryor's manager told Adam, all you have is your ghost at the end of the day. All you have is your ghost. And that was something that stuck with, I think, everybody who watched. Pryor destroyed, and her ex-husband had to follow, and I loved it because he was such a jerk. Sid goes up with his set and he bombs it, basically. You know, nobody was feeling it. But the crazy thing was Goldie counting up all her coin, all her money in her hand, and he walks in the office and he just backslaps the life out of her. Or it might have just been a regular slap, but he slapped the taste out of her mouth, and all her money flew in the air, and Cassie's in the doorway lurking, and she saw it all, and she helps her collect all the money without saying a word. Man, poor Bill though, man. His dad was anti everything, anti the truth, between Bill's dad and Clay's dad. Cassie chooses some guys from some messed up backgrounds. Like she said, they all have their issues. They both were anti the truth, anti the fast life. One of them called California Gomorrah, called comics children. This was Clay's dad, called comics children who joke their way out of life. Dang. Don't we all need that joke though to get out of, get a vacation away from reality for a moment and hear someone else's stories? Come on now. Everybody needs laughter. What I do love about this show is I love the little things, the bunny ears on the TV, posters in the background. You got Charlie Chaplin, David, the gold cigarette case of Goldie. In episode 1, Clay's father had one of the coolest shots, and it was when they rode up to the makeshift funeral slash roast. You could see his father in the circular side, the passenger side view mirror, and I thought that was the dopest shot ever. They all came together at the club. They always unite. They unite for each other. They hold each other down as best as they can. It's dope to see that, because even though they battle on the stage, they're relaxing, get something to eat. Or when one's on TV, they're all still, no matter where they are, they're supporting them from a distance. And that, my friend, is what makes this show great. See Ralph manhandle his own bar that he built with his bare hands. That was sad. The song Gobble Gobble We Accept Her, Gobble Gobble We Accept Her, and everyone is watching this TV show at the same time. All the comedians are viewing it and they all feel used. Cassie needs a manager. She's going to these events by herself, and it's getting dangerous because she's getting better. She's drawing these people in. The doorman tackling Commons because he wants his moment too. He worked the door for 2 years, and that man was not going to come up before he did. He wasn't having it. That was funny. Ron and Eddie should have told those chicks, you can't have lobster. We have French fry funds. Didn't do it. They had all this hot wings, and then these chicks end up being celibate. You thought you were going to get some skins. Thought they were getting some skins. Couldn't afford the potato skins. To see them coming into their own, working the restaurant, in the front door, working the crowd of the AA meeting in due time. Everybody needs their time in it. Man, but he tried. He bombed in front of Goldie, dropped the mics. He didn't even have the intro to get him right. That sucked. Kenny stole a joke, and he got what he deserved. You don't steal people's joke. That's pretty low. One of the best lines for one of the later episodes would have to be, you don't hang a Van Gogh in the cellar. We're both pimps, except I pay my hoes. Ooh, Barton paying the bill is pretty low, because you'll do anything at this point to make sure Goldie isn't winning. That finale is going to be off the chain. I'm excited. I hope y'all watching. I have this thing where I rate how I feel about the season or the episode, and it goes like this. I love it. I love it. I'm excited to finish out, I believe, this last episode to this finale and see what's popping, see what's going on. These characters, every one of them. It seems like an endless crew and amount of talent. Jim Carrey, you did your thing, man. I can't wait to see this go into season 2 or a movie about Goldie. Finale, y'all let me know what you think. Drop a comment below. I wish I would have gotten to this way earlier, some months back. But see y'all next time. Thank you. Peace.